All right, so we are on our last video. So we're going to be doing our last video now. And the last video is really just to get done with slide 7. Okay, now we already talked about all these things and we saw in the last video and in the last simulation how we can make the claw cats increase by increasing the fur bills indirectly. You increase the fur bills, increase the scale beaks, increase the claw cats. We also saw how you could increase or decrease the green leaves by increasing the wee bugs, and you could increase the wee bugs by decreasing the fur bills. Okay, another indirect effect. Okay, now we already went through all this and we come to our last key concept of the day, and that's this. The size of a population can be affected by any population that is connected to it in a food web, even if they are not directly connected. We are learning a lot about this as ecologists and as humans because a lot of times we think to ourselves, oh, we'll just, you know what, we'll go fish and we'll take all the sardines out of the ocean. But we don't understand, like, you take the sardines and that's going to affect the entire ecosystem indirectly. Okay? So, we've learned that even populations that are not direct consumers of resources, they can affect the others. That is called an indirect effect. Now let's look closely at orca, algae, and walleye and how they might affect the size of the jelly population. Now we've already learned, okay? We've already learned that if you increase the zooplankton, you could increase the moon jelly. More food, more babies. If you decrease the sea turtles, you could increase the moon jellies, okay? Less predators, less death. But what could you do to the algae, the orca, and the walleye that might increase the moon jelly? So I want you to take a few seconds, maybe pause the video, and think to yourself, how could I increase the moon jelly by increasing these three populations? There's a few things you could do, okay? You could maybe increase the algae, okay? Increasing the algae, that would increase the zooplankton, that would increase the moon jelly. Also, maybe you could decrease the walleye. Decreasing the walleye means that less zooplankton are being eaten, more food for the moon jelly. Or how about this? What if I increased the orca? I could increase the orca. That means they would eat more sea turtles, less death for the moon jelly. So, these are three examples of indirect effects. Again, don't pay attention to the kelp and the sea urchin. We'll talk about that later. But what I want you to know mainly is just understand that you can indirectly, okay, affect another population. So, let's go to our next slide. On our next slide, what we're going to do is we are going to start looking at your last thing that you're going to be doing today in class. Now, the last thing that you're going to be doing today in class is you are going to do, actually there's two things that you're going to be doing today. Number one is you are going to wrap up your workbook. And in your workbook, it's going to specifically ask you, okay, about how you can change the jelly population, increasing the jelly population by changing the walleye pollock population. So what I want you to do here is I want you to write about that. You're going to spend the last 20 minutes of class writing about that, okay? So you can do that right now, or you can finish your quiz, which you are going to take a quiz right now. The quiz should be posted. I'm going to post the quiz so that it posts an hour and 20 minutes into class. So for the classes that start at 8 a.m., your quiz will be posted at 9:20 a.m. For the classes that start at 10:10, your quiz will be posted at 11:30, an hour and 20 minutes later. So you're not allowed to leave the class until your quiz is completed, and you can't take the quiz until an hour and 20 minutes into class. But Once you get done with the quiz, you are going to work on slide 7 and answering that question. And then the next lesson, what you're going to do is we're going to look at really just going deeper into looking at all these different populations, collecting more evidence and seeing how this goes. Okay? So this, I'm using Red Class as an example, but you're going to see a quiz. It's going to be titled Ecology Quiz 2. And it will post an hour and 20 minutes into class. They are already scheduled, so you should see those about an hour and 20 minutes into class. You need to take those to be able to be marked as present in class and as well for your grade, because this is going to be a graded assignment. Okay? So here's what you need to do. I'm just going to recap. So you should have done all these things. You should have come into class, and the first thing you should have got done was your SEL journal. Make sure that SEL journal is turned in. Okay? Number 2, what you need to do is you need to get that workbook done. Make sure that workbook is done, and if you didn't get it done, all right, we have those 2 videos from before that you can watch, all right? And those videos really just give you all the answers. The only thing I didn't answer today was a couple questions on slide 6 and the writing prompt on slide 7. And then finally, the third thing you need to have done is your quiz. And once your quiz is done, once you've done that an hour and 20 minutes into class, you are free to log out. Okay? I already let Mr. Williams know. He's your sub for today. I let him know what is going on with you watching these videos and completing the assignments. He should let you know an hour and 20 minutes into class that there is a quiz, and that's going to be it. Okay? I apologize for not being in class with you today. I had some doctor's appointments that were scheduled a couple months ago, and I had to do them in the mornings because that's the only time the doctor could meet on Thursday and Friday. And hopefully they're going to figure out my ears and get my ears all situated because I've been having really bad earaches and ear infections for the past year. If you have any questions, though, please send me a email, and I will get back to you. And if not, I hope you guys have a great weekend, get that quiz done, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.